And welcome back. Today we are flying out the Japanese premium JASDF F-40 Sabre. And is this thing worth the pickup? It's on sale right now, and I wouldn't really say for sale, but it's more like you are able to buy it. And with the upcoming T2, the Mitsubishi T2 Premium Early that is coming out, do I recommend you to get this or the upcoming one. And the only reason I will address the T2 before it's actually already in the game is mainly because, well, it is a carbon copy of the one that we already have. Before we get into the details of it, thank you to all my patrons and to everyone looking to buy anything from the Guardian store like this plane right here. I have a discount code down below, feel free to use that. No decal yet, it's being worked on. So is this thing better or worse than the T2? It depends a little bit on what you want to play. The T2 would be a lot better if it wasn't for the fact that there are Su-25s and A-10s everywhere. Talking about Su-25, yeah, that didn't happen. I never die, of course. So the main problem that I'm going to have with the T2 is that you are going to be facing those all-aspect missiles every match, and in the T2 you are going to have a very slim chance of actually dodging them. The best way to dodge them with some plane like the F-40 is it's 9.0, so you can dodge the matchmaker most of the time. You can dodge R60s in the head-on in this thing, and you can kind of outturn them if they get on your 6 first, but it's not something I would exactly count on. And you can tell right here, I'm trying to kind of fly away from the entire blob. The only reason I went head-on with the one I just went head-on with was because I just saw him shoot both of his missiles. I see this guy being extremely hungry, so I'm gonna turn out, because I have a feeling when Su-25s are extremely hungry, there we go, they mostly have some missiles left. So he shoots it, he is probably out, at least he shot one of them, and I want to be very aware on what Su-25 actually has missiles left and which one actually doesn't, because that's going to be your only lifeline. When it comes to matches like this, you are still a Sabre, an F-Sabre for that matter. What is the difference between this thing and say the F-25 or the F-2 Sabre? Because the F-2 Sabre is of course the same BR. This thing gets missiles, the two AIM-9Bs. It gets leading edge slats, which are extremely helpful when it comes to turning. So it does turn quite a significant bit tighter. The wings are also slightly longer. So it's a whole ass 1 km/h slower than the F2. Turns a lot better and it rolls marginally worse. Acceleration is the same. So when it comes to this or the F2, which one would I say is better? This thing definitely has a better flight model and it has better utility with the missiles. However, the F2, the guns, they're too good to pass up on. And that's the main issue that I have for this thing. The 50 cals are, they leave a little bit to be desired. So this thing is going to be a better fighter. You're probably going to have more fun with it. However, the T2, it's a lot quicker. It does have a decent bomb load. And if you want to be a PvE grinder with that Vulcan, be my guest. But if you want to look at some fun, if you want to have at least a little bit of fun while you are grinding, you are probably going to be better off with this thing, because you can actually dogfight people, you don't have to fly straight the entire match, and you don't have to worry every single game about either an A-10 or most definitely an Su-25, because, well, they are the same BR as you, so tough shit. With the F-40, I mean, it's not the best performing, you are still an F-Sabre at 9.0, but it's nimble, it's decently quick, it holds its energy quite well, so you are just kind of able to throw yourself in there. And here you see my second game in this plane, and well, I'm having some troubles aiming, and that's well, I haven't flown a 50 cal Sabre in about half a year, so forgive my aim in this first match. Gets a little bit better later on, trust me. I just had to get the feel back a little bit. So this thing, more fun as a fighter. If you're going to look for air-to-air combat, I definitely recommend this thing over the T2. Is the T2 going to be better? Maybe it will get down to the 9.3, because the all-aspect missiles are going to absolutely tear that thing apart. I think it's a little bit of missile bait when it comes to 9Es already. It's not that bad, it's a little bit of an over-exaggeration, but it's not it. It's really not it. The T2 is one of those planes that pulls a lot of AOA, but the sustained turn, it's a bit of a yikes. I compare it to a 104. That doesn't have the qualities of the 104 that actually make it decent. Good excel, good high speed, amazing retention, also because it turns like shit. But with the T2 you don't want to turn to begin with, so the ability to turn sometimes just really screws you over. Not exactly fun. So it's a little bit of a toss-up. T2 might be a quicker grinder, But still, I think this thing will be infinitely more fun because you are a subsonic in this supersonic matchmaker, so you are much more free to do what you want. You just want to be careful of the missiles. But with the T2, even if you are going decently quick, you still have to be very attentive to the missiles, because very often you're just not going to be able to actually dodge one at all. So, how do you fly it? Well, you fly it like an F-Saber. It's really not that different, and some people have tested this. The F-Saber actually doesn't have worse energy retention over the F2. It's actually, when you go very deep into the stats, it's actually slightly better. But we're talking about like half a percentile, maybe even 1%. It's really not that different. But the slats actually don't kill its energy retention. It's like an Oswald coefficient or whatever the shit it's called. If you do like a 180, it basically holds the same speed. So it's really not that much of an issue that you turn better. You're not gonna shit away its speed. But if you're gonna dogfight something like G91, another F-Saber, sometimes like versus not the best pilots, MiG-17s and MiG-15s are definitely planes you can win against, because you have that instantaneous turn, you get a lot of position early on, and that's going to give you a lot of options. A5 Sabres, they don't outturn you anymore. You don't have to worry about them as much as when you fly something like an F2. Sure, in the F2 you can run away from them, you can energy trap them, but it often takes very long. With this thing, you can basically just full send the turn, and unless it's a CL-13B, you should be okay. The CL-13B of course turns just as well as you, has a better engine and also rolls better, and you know, it's faster. It's just you but better, really. But that thing is also 9.3, so you are going to be facing Su-25s and A-10s just that little bit more often again. 9.3 is a lot less forgiving. At 9.0, I did get down tiered, or at least like my own tier quite often. 9.3 max to like 8.7, 9.3, roughly speaking, was the most common BR range. Which is actually, it's quite flyable. It's honestly not that bad. Do I think that this is a great premium? It's not the best. I'll show you the rewards after every game. You do have to be somewhat careful with it. And I am running min fuel because with 20 minutes of fuel, the Sabres are just not competitive anymore. And most of the games you don't even run out of fuel anyway. So why bring 20 minutes if you are more likely to die before your min fuel load is actually up? That's how I see it, because the F-Saber with 20 minutes, especially one like this, where you can rip your wings off, it's not that bad anymore, because they did nerf the Sabres a little bit. They made them a little bit more forgiving. You can throw them around a lot more now. F-40 still rippable on 20 minutes of fuel, so you do want to be careful of that. But that's basically the only issue that you have. This G91 is just doing the same roll over and over, so I'm just waiting for him to roll into it. I should have just shot a little bit more, because I'm actually about to break off an RTB. But hindsight 2020, you know, we have a G91, we have an F9F, and we have an A5 Sabre, and I'm together with Nagato, who has like double my kills in Air RB. So I'm pretty confident that we can keep these guys busy quite easily. We used to fly together quite a bit, so we are kind of chewed in on each other. But I just managed to run into him by random today. So he goes for the A5, I switch on over to shoot him, only get some hits, I don't have the ammo to spray, and we simply break off. And now I'm going to leave him alone, because I am going to be out of fuel, out of ammo. My presence here is going to be absolutely minimal. And I know that he can outrun all three of those guys. I mark my departure. And we are going to go head back to base. The thing is, he probably has his chat turned off, so might not actually do anything. So after reloading, he has still been keeping that occupied for the entirety of this match. So we go head on with the F9F. He dodges, we dodge as well. We go up and over, and we will be able to outturn this guy quite handily. He does have quite good energy retention. Unfortunately for him, it's an F9F2, so I just get on this 6. And I just want to make sure that I don't compress, that I don't overshoot. So I'm actually going to throttle drop a little bit, air brake a little bit, just put myself inside of his turn. And after we do that, we should be completely golden. We pull everything back in, we are going slow enough now, no need to slow down even more. But that's just going to put us in a worse position. We are firmly on the 6. We spray him right in the cockpit. And down goes the F9F. And Nagato is on the G91 from earlier that kind of just rolled into the same direction over and over and over again. Being very predictable. So I have a feeling he's going to clean him up here. We're just going to see if we can close the gap here. See if he needs some help. I don't know if he's low on ammo. I don't know if he's low on fuel. If he needs help. If he's crit or anything. He hasn't been talking this entire time. I believe he gets a singular hit in there. He sets him on fire. That's him dead. I'm just gonna pull off, try to keep him straight. That's exactly what happens. And he gets put down into the dirt. Here we go for the rewards. Keep in mind, I'm not researching anything because I have everything in the Japanese lineup. So my RP will not be that high. My SL, however, should be roughly what you should be getting as well. It's not a test drive. There you have it. 25k, 125k SL. Pretty good earnings for about 15 minutes of gameplay. So let's dogfight an Su-25 real quick. And dogfighting an Su-25 really isn't a big deal if you get past the heddle, especially in a plane like this. We get some hits in, and the main reason I'm going to be showing you this is because, well, we all know how great that damage model is, and we all know how great 50 kills can be sometimes. So I'm just going to full send it, air brake a little bit just to make sure that I stay behind it, because once I get behind it there is no way for him to actually reverse this. So we get some hits, and here we go. Yeah. Fantastic in it. Well, he's gonna burn up eventually, but man, these guns really leave something to be desired. But you do have missiles for those planes. Unfortunately they have flares, but some planes in this lobby don't have flares. You can see it right there. The Tu-4 is climbing straight up. He gets hit a little bit, but he absolutely dick slaps that Limb 5P. So I'm priming this missile. I know I can't shoot it till about 1.6, 1.5. And I'm just waiting for this guy to see me, because I'm gonna start dodging it the instant he shoots. I could have shot it right there, but I want to dodge his shots first, pull back in, shoot the missile off. He's trying to shoot the missile down. Unfortunately for you, it ain't happening. And missiles are absolutely fantastic when it comes to stuff like that. We all know how deadly Tu-4s are, especially if you have to get close to them. Especially if you have to get close to them at a reasonably low speed. It's pretty easy for you to just end your match right there, and no one likes that. So these missiles are great for IL-28s, B-57s that are climbing to space, and just planes in general that you don't really want to chase, and planes that you can't really get close to. Extremely annoying, but for Tu-4s absolutely perfect. They're too slow to dodge. You have way too many guns. All I have to do is point at him for a split second, squeeze that missile key, and that's it. They're done. F-10F flying in front of us, we switch on over, we shoot him down, we switch back to the A4E early, and I notice that there is someone on my 6, so I shoot a few rounds, look back up, it's a MiG-17, he goes into a flat spin, but he got actually crit by someone else. And why am I showing you this absolutely mid gameplay? Because that's how you can fly this thing. This is how aggressive you can be. Now sure, sometimes you'll get punished for it, but the T2 is going to fly a bit like the Milan, where you just have to fly straight. Where you have to fly as fast as you can the entirety of the match. And you're basically not allowed to play the game, really. Does this look more fun, even though the game... I'm not really fighting anyone in particular, I'm just turning after people. Trying to hold the trigger down and see if I can kill them as fast as I can. And you can play this thing a little bit like a Beyblade, which to me is a lot more enticing than, again, just flying straight constantly and pushing head-ons with people. And then absolutely get your ass eaten the millisecond someone slings a missile at you. So I'm chasing down this A4E. A29 is also going for him. And what does the A4E do? Instead of going head on, he pulls straight vertical in front of him. And I'm like, why don't people do this to me? Why don't people just give me kills like that? But you know, I guess the A29 needs to the RP much more than I do, because again, he's, well, flying an A29, not exactly a great vehicle, and there's a very good reason you didn't see that thing on my channel. And no, it's not happening. That thing is actual dog shit. So we go on over to kill some ground units, because we have 50 cals, we have quite a bit of ammo left. And of course every bit of RP counts when you're flying these things, because well, that's probably why you're flying it. It's a premium vehicle. And then we notice a high priority target right over there. It's an I-16. And why people bring this kind of stuff into top tier or mid tier or like jet tier, I don't understand it. If you want to get the gold mode award, play a good plane, just play a good prop. You'll still get the gold tier award and you won't be as useless as you will be in this thing. Well, this guy is actually going to kill someone because the CL-13A is an absolute redacted. I'm not allowed to say those words on YouTube anymore because they're going to demonetize me. But he does have way too many chromosomes. So he's gonna start rolling in front of us, but he's way too slow. I just have to hold the trigger. And I hit him with like 6,050 cals and he just simply disintegrates right before our eyes. Here we go, another reward screen, 14,000, a little bit less RP, but the game is also significantly shorter because I didn't even use my one fuel tank of min fuel. The last guy, the B-57, landed on the runway, waited for the tickets to bleed, and then he lost. And here we are again. We're gonna go absolute balls in, because that's what we do in this thing. Because flying it properly is kind of boring nowadays. You're not the fastest plane in the game anymore. Unlike a few games or a few years ago. Well, the MiG-17 technically was quicker, and so was the CL-13. But the CL-13 was in your team every match, and the MiG-17 had horrendous acceleration at the top end, so it didn't really matter. And something like the F-2 Sabre, sure, it was like 0.5%, 1% faster and accelerated better, but you turned so much better that completely negated the fact it did that to you. So, you know, you're not really in the same meta anymore, unfortunately. Some people like it, I'm not really a fan of it, but I'm also a bit of a boomer. I've been playing since like 2016. So, what do? We're playing it like a Beyblade, so I'm just reacting to everyone around me. Just keep looking around, see who is engaging you and who isn't. Go ahead on with an A4E, we crit him. I'm just gonna carry on, I don't need to go for him. MiG-15 turning behind us, but we're going way too quick for him. And we are just gonna out-accelerate him very handily. Keep looking him forward, so I don't get head on by a random guy. And the MiG-15 notices that he's not gonna hit us, and we are simply going to run away. And yes, I do run boosters even on this F-40 nowadays. And why is that? That's what I mentioned earlier, but the roll and the turn rate have been slightly nerfed, especially at high speed. And you don't really rip anymore, so especially if you run low fuel, min fuel, don't bother with taking them off. This thing is good enough with them, and you're not gonna really rip your wings off, unlike the A4, what's it called, the F4D. I might revisit that pretty soon here, because it's not as painful anymore, it's definitely not as bad. But until then, we're gonna dogfight the MiG-15, I'm gonna go up and air brake, loose on speed, cut inside of his loop, there's a Venom right next to me, so I'm not really worried, and he's probably gonna carry on to go head on with him. He does exactly that, and guess what, he crits the Venom. But the thing is, the MiG-15 is now going relatively slow, and I'm just gonna be able to pull right inside of his turn here. We get some hits in, we get a crit, keep turning, get out of the way for the Vautour. A4E early dies in the background, get some more hits in the MiG-15, we set him on fire, keep holding that trigger down, and eventually he might actually go down. There we have it, MiG-15 down in the dumpster. And what do you do then? You simply dive a little bit, get your speed back up, and look at that, we are still going 800 kilometers an hour, which is one of the benefits of flying this thing, which is why I really don't mind it, even though it's not in the best matchmaker, and I keep saying the same thing. It's really not that stressful to fly. It's one of those neuron activation planes. You just go for people, you turn with them, and you hope you don't get third party. And if you keep your speed, you can actually run away from a very large majority of the game. Good job to those two guys, they definitely had fun flying in this game. They went head on and rammed each other. Absolutely stellar gameplay. I wish I could do that every match. Hold your cursor on the enemy plane, keep spraying until one of you dies. If you don't die, you ram each other. Peak fucking performance. There we have it. The game is essentially cleaned up. We have F2 in the background. He is going to be circling the airfield, and then he lands and leaves, and then I notice that there is a 163 who is farming AI. Now, the 163 won't have the most amount of ammo. He should be relatively low on fuel. And I might be able to just kind of gimp him as he is looking at the bots instead of his own ass. Not sure how you look at your own ass, actually. Kind of a weird proposition. But he's not looking behind him. Probably not. So I'm gonna see if I can cut him off before he gets to the AI. And then if I can just kind of shoot at him and maybe set him on fire. 163 on fire is a dead 163. However, I mean, well, you'll see in a minute. But sometimes it's not that cut and dry. So I'm just trying to cut him off. If he notices me, I'm fucking dead. I'm not gonna try and tell you otherwise. But I get on the 6. He is not really aware of us. He's just kind of maneuvering. I'm gonna hold the trigger. He starts maneuvering, and what does he do? He tries to run away from a plane he simply kills in the dogfight, and then he flies straight without moving. I don't get these players, man. I really don't. And then he swears in the chat, and he's actually gonna keep burning for a good, what is it, like 5 to 6 minutes. And then he lands, and after he lands, he gives me a crit, and then he lands and leaves. I'm like, okay, but we are pretty low on tickets, so we rearm. And now what we have to do is try to win on tickets. So we're gonna use a missile on the CL-13s. The CL-13s drain like 100 tickets. The AA drains some tickets, but it's mostly the artillery. The thing is with the AA, I mean, look at this. I'm flying over them at like 1050 and they're hitting me like it's absolutely nothing. The thing is, I don't really have a choice. I'm forced to do this right here and now, so I'm gonna start air braking, be even more susceptible to it. And I'm not really killing the AA so that I drain the tickets, because it won't drain the tickets. I just want to make sure that there's less AA shooting at me. I actually miss an AA, which is kind of pathetic. Then I kill some other ones. Not really down or not up on tickets yet. So what do? We switch on over to another CL-13. The CL-13s also kill your tickets. These are definitely the priority. I don't recommend you to kill them at the start of the game. They give dick all for RP. You need to kill like 10 of them to get the same RP reward as one air kill, I believe, on top of my head. The payout is pretty bad. But at the end of the match, or if you have to kill anything, you're better off killing the CL-13s over something like artillery. The CL-13s will actively drain your tickets quicker. And, well, the 100 tickets apiece. Another AA, just gonna shoot at him. I'm looking for something I can kill that will actually drain the tickets. There it is. It's a pillbox right there. We get hit by AA again. We're getting absolutely clobbered up. But now we are ahead of tickets. And we are going to win. Do I still think tickets are bad? Yes, it's not about me winning or losing. Because even right here I'm winning. And the only reason I'm winning is because I end the match prematurely. But I'm not going to rant about that again. And then I get the kill stolen by a goddamn bot that bombs a pillbox. But there you have it. 3 kills, 9 ground units, and 2 assists on about 14 to 15 minutes of game time. Let's take a look at the rewards. Loading screens are absolutely abysmal. And yes, I installed it on an SSD. But there you have it, the rewards on the screen. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.